guys, it's Kate here with We're All About Pets. Today, we're going to talk about an automatic litter box, the PetSafe ScoopFree automatic litter box. Here's what you have to look forward to in this video review. We'll start with a quick introduction to the product, including what comes in the box and how you set it up. Then we'll get into the details of how it works. By the end of this review, you'll have a thorough understanding of the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box and a better idea whether it's the right choice for you and your cat. Let's start with a quick introduction to the PetSafe brand. PetSafe started in 1991 and has grown into one of the biggest manufacturers of electronic pet training products in the US. Here are some of their other brands you might recognize: Invisible Fence, Sport Dog, Drinkwell, and Initech. The PetSafe ScoopFree litter box is just one of the many products they have to offer. Speaking of, let's get into it. The original PetSafe ScoopFree automatic litter box features an automatic raking system that activates 20 minutes after your cat uses the litter box. The automatic rake system sweeps waste into a covered compartment while the special crystal litter absorbs urine. Now, there are a couple of upgrades to the original model available, including a covered litter box, a top entry litter box, and a smart litter box. But today, we're just going to focus on the PetSafe ScoopFree original automatic litter box. So, here's the PetSafe ScoopFree original automatic litter box in all its glory. All you have to do is take it out of the cardboard box, unwrap it, insert the disposable litter tray, and you're good to go. At first glance, it doesn't look too terribly different from a traditional litter box. The plastic body features a rectangular shape with raised sides and a curved plastic lid at the front over the waste compartment. To use the PetSafe ScoopFree original automatic litter box, you do have to purchase PetSafe branded litter and litter trays. These litter trays are made from cardboard and they're designed to slide directly into the litter box housing. The open end is filled with the crystal cat litter and the other end houses a covered waste compartment. Setting up the PetSafe ScoopFree automatic litter box couldn't be simpler. Once you remove it from the cardboard box, you simply assemble the disposable litter tray and put it in. I've found it works best to put the tray on the ground, then lift the litter box housing onto it. That way the magnets on the litter tray line up properly with the magnets on the waste compartment, and you don't have to fiddle around with it too much. From there, all that's left is to add your litter and plug it in. As I mentioned earlier, this litter box is designed specifically to be used with crystal cat litter. You don't necessarily need to use the PetSafe brand, but it usually works out best. We'll talk more about that later. To test the litter box, you simply press the rake button on the corner. You can use this anytime you want, but the litter box will automatically activate the rake about 20 minutes after your cat uses the litter box. Okay, so now that we've assembled the PetSafe ScoopFree automatic litter box, let's talk about how it works. You already know it has a sensor that detects your cat's movements and activates the rake 20 minutes later. Now, 20 minutes may sound like a long time, and unfortunately you can't adjust the timer on this model, but it gives the crystal cat litter time to work. Here's an aerial view of the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box at work. So you see how the rake activates and starts moving across the litter tray, picking up solid waste as it goes? The cover on the waste compartment rises as the rake nears so it can sweep the waste right in, and when it's done, the rake moves back to its original position. Now, I will note that my cats have been using the litter box for a couple of days with it unplugged, just so I could accumulate enough waste in it to show you how the raking system works. When the waste compartment becomes full, you can either scoop out the waste or dispose of the tray entirely and replace it with a new one. The biggest question pet owners have about the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box is whether you have to use the brand's crystal cat litter. The answer is technically no. You can probably use other brands, but it really works best with crystal litter. Crystal cat litter is unique because it absorbs moisture without clumping. This means you can reuse it for weeks at a time. It makes quick work of urine and dehydrates solid waste so it can be swept away by the rake into the waste compartment. The tricky thing is you really need to use PetSafe's disposable litter trays in order to get the raking system to work. See, these trays have magnets on the end that work in conjunction with the raking system. As the rake moves through the litter, the lid over the waste compartment rises so the rake can sweep the solid waste right in. Now, PetSafe has finally released a reusable litter tray, but it costs about $50 on Chewy. If you plan on using the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box for a long time, it may be worth it to buy the litter tray and just buy your own crystal litter. Otherwise, you're stuck paying about $17 for the litter tray with 1 bag of litter, or you can get 2 bags of crystal cat litter for the same price. Speaking of prices, let's move on to talking about how much the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box costs. For this review, I tested the original PetSafe ScoopFree litter box. This litter box costs $139.95 and it comes with 1 disposable litter tray and 1 bag of premium crystal cat litter. To use this litter box, you'll need to purchase disposable trays, or you can buy a reusable plastic tray. You'll also need crystal cat litter, though it doesn't necessarily need to be PetSafe brand. A single disposable tray with PetSafe crystal cat litter costs $16.95. The PetSafe reusable cat litter tray is sold on Chewy for $49.99, which is roughly equivalent to the cost of 3 disposable litter trays. If you're interested in a newer model of the ScoopFree litter box, you can get the ultra hooded version for $169.95. Or the top entry version for $174.99, or the smart version for $199.95. Now that we've gotten all the details out of the way, let's talk about my experience with the PetSafe ScoopFree automatic litter box. First things first, I've tested a lot of high-tech pet gadgets, and I have to say, the PetSafe ScoopFree was refreshingly simple. Not only was setup incredibly easy, but the disposable litter trays made cleanup a breeze. There was hardly any maintenance involved at all. So, what did my cats think of it? By now, my cats have tested just about every kind of litter box there is, and we've tested every litter under the sun. I wasn't surprised that it took a few days for them to get used to it and to start using the box consistently, but they didn't seem to have any problems with the crystal cat litter. One thing I've noticed about my cats is that they tend to use different litter boxes for solid and liquid waste. They seem to prefer crystal litter for urine versus feces, so unfortunately, I had limited opportunities to test the waste collection feature of this litter box. I did find that the rake activated consistently, and the crystal litter did a good job of absorbing urine. That being said, I also found that the disposable litter tray didn't last anywhere near the promised 30 days. Now, I have 3 cats, so I wasn't too surprised, but I did start to notice some urine odor after a few days, and once the crystal cat litter became saturated with urine, it became kind of a problem, and there was some leakage on the floor. Given the near $17 price tag on a single tray refill, I can see how using this litter box would get pretty expensive pretty quickly. Now, let's take a look at how well the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box handles common issues like litter box odor, tracking and litter scatter, scooping and cleaning, and minimizing waste. Let's start with litter box odor. As the owner of 3 cats, litter box odor is always a concern. Where the ScoopFree litter box shines is in the liquid and odor-absorbing qualities of the crystal litter. This litter absorbs liquid on contact, helping neutralize ammonia odor and dehydrates solid waste. Once the waste is scooped into the waste compartment, there's little lingering odor to speak of. If odor continues to be an issue, purchasing the optional privacy hood might help. Now, one other thing I want to mention in terms of litter box odor is that the 20-minute delay timer may leave conditions a little bit unpleasant in certain situations. One of my cats has a very sensitive digestive system and has been known to make some pretty smelly messes. I've been in the room with the litter box for 20 minutes waiting for that timer to go off. Next up, tracking and litter scatter. I wasn't surprised to find that tracking was less of an issue with the PetSafe ScoopFree than with other litter boxes I've tested. The crystal litter comes in fairly large granules, so they don't tend to get stuck in your cat's paws as easily. Plus, I was less worried about the crystal litter damaging my hardwood floors than I am with clay litter. The downside is that some cats with sensitive paws might not like the sharper texture of the crystal litter. If you find your cat still scatters the crystal litter, PetSafe does offer a top entry version of their litter box. This is an enclosed version with a lid on the top and a hole in the lid that your cat jumps into to get into the litter box. It also has a grated surface so that when your cat jumps out, the litter either falls off of its paws or gets caught in the grated lid. Now let's talk about scooping and cleaning the PetSafe litter box. This is the area in which the PetSafe ScoopFree really shines. By utilizing crystal litter rather than clay, this litter box helps minimize the amount of dirty litter you have to deal with. Urine is absorbed on contact, and during that 20-minute delay before the rake activates, the crystal litter starts dehydrating solid waste for more efficient removal. As previously mentioned, my test cats preferred the litter box for liquid versus solid waste, so I had a limited ability to test the rake function. In terms of cleaning the litter box, however, it was very easy to remove and replace the disposable tray.
I'll also note that the rake didn't always do a great job of collecting smaller particles of waste, and there was one incident where my sensitive digestion cat had a little bit of diarrhea and it made kind of a mess of the rake. Next, saving money and minimizing waste. When it comes to automatic litter boxes, most cat owners understand there's going to be a significant upfront cost. However, compared to high-tech options like the litter robot, which is priced around $500, the PetSafe automatic scoop-free litter box is pretty affordable at $139.95. The biggest issue cost-wise for the PetSafe ScoopFree is the cost of the litter. A single disposable tray costs $16.95, or you can purchase a 2-pack of crystal litter bags for the same price. You can't use the litter box without a PetSafe branded disposable or reusable tray, however. You may be able to use other crystal cat litters, but you'd have to buy the reusable litter tray for about $50 to do it. To wrap things up, I have to say I was fairly impressed by the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box, despite it being fairly simple compared to high-tech options like the litter robot and the cat genie.
I like the automatic raking system, and the covered compartment operated by magnets is pretty clever. It did a good job concealing odors, though I did have a little bit of an issue with urine odor once the crystal litter became saturated.
I can't speak to how well this litter box would hold up in a single cat household, but in my 3-cat household, I ended up having to change the trays a little more often than anticipated. All that being said, if you're looking for an automatic litter box to help minimize scooping, the PetSafe ScoopFree is certainly one to consider. It's much more affordable than some electronic litter boxes, and it works pretty well for what it's designed to do. That's it for our review of the PetSafe Original ScoopFree Automatic Litter Box. Hope to see you next time! For more product reviews like this one, and for other relevant pet content, be sure to check us out at weareallaboutpets.com. And don't forget to check our YouTube channel for more video reviews.